All right. Hi, guys. I can't see anybody. Yeah, put that up a little. All right, if I'm up here, can I take this off? What do you think?
I'm okay with it.
I think so. How you guys doing? Woo! Good? Did anyone just see that film for the first time? Yeah? A couple people? Yeah? What'd you think? They're silly, aren't they? So how we doing tonight? Is that a Chucky on your lap? All right. Did you have to get a ticket?
Child ticket.
Oh yeah, perfect. So this doll is actually from Cult of Chucky, which we made in 2017. It was kind of designed to look like the Child's Play 2 doll. And yeah, after 3 decades and 4 films, I finally got my own good guy doll. So he said we'd be friends to the end when I was 6, and shit, he wasn't kidding, I guess. I'm almost 40. All right, anyone have questions? Fire questions at me from the darkness. Yeah.
What's your favorite movie to be in?
My favorite film of the series, the first one in many ways. The second one, I remember the experience a little more because I was older, and I had a real close friendships with Christine and Don. But I was real close with Catherine in the first one, and that was like the first real film that I ever made. So yeah, well, I kind of judged that question by the experience of doing it more than like how the film came out. I like part 1 and part 2 probably equally. But part 2 we made all in California in Universal Studios. And it doesn't get cooler than that. Like I got to walk through the Back to the Future set and I'm 8 years old, sit in the DeLorean, have lunch with Michael J. Fox. I was way cooler when I was 8 years old than I am now. What's your favorite, since you asked?
Either first or Cult.
Hey, thanks. Cult boat sounds good to me.
So you were real young when this was actually made. Do you remember much about the actual filming, and like how much were you allowed privy to at such a young age? Because I know some intense stuff for somebody so young.
The only thing in the whole film that they didn't show me in person, that they didn't want me to see, was that burnt Chucky backing me down the hallway. That was just reaction to nothing, stuff that I was doing. They didn't let me see that Chucky doll.
Okay.
I didn't want to see them set Ed Gale on fire, who was the little person who played Chucky in that particular scene. Because I knew Ed, and I was like my friend at the time, and didn't want to see him get set on fire.
Oh, totally.
But I did get to go and watch the stunt guy playing Aunt Maggie jump out the window. And I was there for the big explosion at Eddie Caputo's house. And yeah, they weren't really big on stopping me from seeing too much of it. I was a pretty bright kid. Like, I had the whole script memorized, all my lines, all everybody else's lines, to the point where if someone like ad-libbed a little bit, I'd be like, that's not how it goes. But yeah, so that kind of thing with the movie was, there was never going to see too much that would affect me. I could have seen that burnt Chucky, it would have been fine. I thought the puppeteer stuff was the coolest.
Yeah.
What was the other question in there? That was part of it.
I don't remember.
All right. I think I got most of it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So was Brad Dourif like on set with you guys, or was it
No.
actor, like?
Yeah, he actually did. Some people would think that they dub his voice stuff later, but he does it first. And thank God for that, because his voice is on set. So I'm still acting to Brad's voice. And same thing, it was the same for Cult. He does all that stuff first, and then they do the animatronics of the doll around his voice instead of the other way around. Which, works so much better than some script supervisor saying, "I'm gonna kill you, Andy." Hearing Brad's voice really helps me, for sure. I think if he were there, it would be even scarier, but yeah.
Did you see the new movie? And
No.
Are there any horror films recently that you've seen that you really enjoyed?
I liked A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
I like I'm cool if there's like one supernatural element in it, but I like people in real life dealing with something crazy. That's usually how a horror movie, like The Strangers, I like that movie a lot. The Shining, things that could happen usually are the type of horror movies I like. I mean, I do horror conventions. I've been doing them for 20 years, but I haven't seen most horror films. Like, I'm more of a comedy guy myself.
So you said you haven't seen the new film?
No.
Do you not want to watch
All right, what else, guys? No, we have weird feelings about it. The biggest thing about that, just to not talk about it much, is that big horror fans know that we didn't make that film. The average person does not know that. And they're trying to make a TV series. We just had Cult of Chucky. Something like that kind of confused people when we wish they didn't have an opportunity to be confused.
it? It's very strange.
So that's one of the several reasons why I haven't watched it yet. All right, what else? Yeah. I think I see a hand there. You guys are like blacked out, by the way. That light is making me not see your faces at all.
I have one.
Okay. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. It's not weird watching myself as a kid. It's much weirder watching myself as an adult. That is so much less comforting. There's a separation between me and 6-year-old me. I've seen that kid's face my whole life. And I know it's me, and I have memories from that. That was your other part of the question. How much did I remember?
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember like anything else about being 6, but these were like big moments. So I do remember, any kind of memories that go back that far, like snapshot, flash memories. You can picture almost like a still image of it more than the full experience. But yeah, I do remember a good amount about making the film, for sure. And yeah, seeing myself like in Cult of Chucky was much more difficult to watch. That's why I'm not going to watch the YouTube videos if you guys post filming me right now.
When you signed on for Curse, did you already know that they were going to be doing Cult and you'd be coming into that, or was it?
No.
So you just did like a little cameo, and then what happened?
I had hoped so. I knew there was a possibility. Like, Don and I are friends, and what he can tell me, he does.
Okay.
Which is not everything, and it's not always as soon as he knows it either. But we were very close, so once that became something that looked like it was actually going to happen, then he told me. I did know that that was something we hoped to do. And I think the TV series is going to be good.
I can't
It
wait.
would have been being filmed already, I think, if things didn't change this year. But hopefully that happens. I don't know if I'm in it yet, though. So we'll see.
Well, tell him that everybody wants you in it.
Well, you tell him. Better coming from you than me. Don, everybody wants me in it, It's a great way to not be involved.
Tell him to holler at me. I'll
okay.
give him a good stern
Okay.
talking to.
I will. All right, I can't always see your hands. If you just want to shout something out, you can, too.
Do you like working with Catherine Hicks more or Jenny Agutter, who played foster mom?
Definitely Catherine, just because I was closer with her. I spent more time with her off camera. It was the first time she ever played a mother in anything, which is ironic because she became known as a TV mother. But that was the first time she ever did. She didn't have any children at that time. So she really bonded with me for that role. And it was my first real film, so I was happy to have that kind of figure in my life also. And we're still very, very close. I wish her happy birthday every year. I talk to her 3 or 4 times a year. I see her at conventions sometimes. Yeah.
What's your favorite Chucky kill in the whole franchise?
I think the one in Cult with the glass breaking is one of the best. I think Chucky beating Miss Kettlewell to death with a ruler in class is one of the best. And How's It Hanging, Phil? That was a good one. But yeah, I think the new one from Cult, I think visually that was the coolest. Yeah, and I could have watched it, but I was exhausted. we were filming for like 12, 13 hours. I was totally tired, and the setup was going to take forever, but I knew they were doing it that night, and I let them drive me back to the hotel. Kind of wish I didn't do that. But I did see the head they were going to use for when her head rolls off, and took a picture of her and her fake head. It was kind of cool.
Do you have a favorite Chucky doll?
Okay, do I have a favorite Chucky doll? The one that I own. Yeah, I mean, I love the original look, and I think that these were really close. Chris Sarandon was very, very nice to me and kind. We didn't have that many scenes together, really, but he was there on set a lot, and he had daughters that were close to my age, and yeah, he was always very kind. And then because of these horror conventions, then I get to see these people as an adult, you know, and get to know them much better than just what my fading memories are from back then. But with Chris, I went and saw Fright Night to try to get an idea of who he was. And yeah, that was like the first horror film I ever saw. And yeah, so I remember kind of picturing him like Jerry Dandridge, you know, but he was always much kinder. So. What else you guys got? Yeah.
As a 6-year-old, how did you find yourself in that role? Were you like an inspiring actor?
I was auditioning in New York City. I lived in North Jersey, just like right over the bridge of the Lincoln Tunnel. The bridge, George Washington Bridge, we call it the bridge. Yeah, so aside from traffic, I was only like 12 miles away where I grew up. But I would audition in New York City 3 or 4 times a week for like 8 years of my childhood. And I did some print work, I did some commercials. I was on a soap opera called As the World Turns for a little while. And I think my character in that died in a fire. So that's when things started to change for me, I guess. When I was in a horror film right after that. But yeah, then after Chucky, I continued auditioning for a while, and it just kind of wasn't fun. Like, I started really young. I started at 6, so by the time I was 9, 10, I've been doing this for 4 years. Can't hang out with my friends after class, after school, because I'm driving into New York City and memorizing lines, and can't play baseball this summer because I'm going to be out on auditions all the time. I'm going to miss games, so yeah, I kind of just. It wasn't fun. I also kind of stopped booking things, and that makes it less fun, too. You know, Elijah Wood kept getting everything I auditioned for. What else would you like to know?
Which is your
How come
least
you
favorite?
weren't in the third one?
Okay, I could kind of answer both of those. That was my least favorite, and I was only 10 at the time. They wanted him to have a love interest and be in military school and explore what it would be like for this kid having grown up further, you know, away from this doll, and the doll comes back for him as a teenager. So I was just too young. There was a time when I thought I was going to be in it, and then I was told, no, you're not. And so yeah, that sucked. But it all worked out in the end.
I remember when that one came out to theaters. I remember when that one came out to theaters, and I just thought it was so weird because the kid just wasn't you.
Yeah.
I was young, but I could tell, you know.
It fooled a lot of people too.
Yeah.
They say it all the time. You know, I really loved you in 3. It wasn't me. What? Yeah. So I'm gonna be out there, have some photos and stuff, and Chucky himself can take pictures with you guys, and if you want any autographs or stuff, you could do that too. I have really nice prints. Or if you have a question that you didn't want to ask in this room, you could just come stop by and ask me.
Did you audition for the role in Leprechaun, like the kid?
No. No, the most memorable things that I can remember, I auditioned for The Sandlot, a couple different characters in The Sandlot. I auditioned for The Good Son, both characters in The Good Son. Elijah Wood got one of them. A movie called Forever Young that Elijah Wood got. A movie called Avalon, Elijah Wood got. I think I auditioned for Problem Child, even though I was totally not right for it. he was adorable, not obnoxious. Like, when it worked. I didn't audition for Home Alone, but I was around that time that I was auditioning.